Moi guys! Welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to talk about my art supply flop of the period. I need to do a little disclaimer and say that these are just my opinion. I love all the brands that I'm going to speak about, but these are products that are not for me, and it depends on what I'm looking for, the way I use them. So without further ado, let's get started. My first flop are these water brush pen. Actually, these are from Kuretake and I got them in my Japanese haul. When I bought these, I was very excited and looking forward to try them. But the big problem with these is not the performance of the product itself, but the fact that the part that you fill with the water never dry out. In fact, I used two of these brush almost 2 months ago, but as you can see, there are still some drops of water inside, and this is very annoying. I try to put them for more than a month completely open without the cap and without the brush part, just to dry out, but this didn't happen. This kind of product is perfect to travel with. For example, now that is planner season, they are very convenient to take with you without have to take with you also water. So I really love to use this kind of product, but unfortunately these are not for me. I really prefer my Pentel water brush pen, because in this case, when I screw the brush part, there is a big hole and I can take off all the water when I finish to use them, while in these is not possible because the hole is a lot smaller and the water stay at the bottom, as you can see here. So this is the massive problem, especially because the water stay there and for example bacteria can proliferate in that, and I don't want to put contaminated water in my color. So for me these brushes are a big no. My second flop is a sharpener, and in particular this Faber Castell plastic sharpener that has two containers for the pencil waste. It is divided in two parts and there are three different holes, two universal ones and one color grip that is indicated especially for Faber Castell color grip pencil line. It's very easy to clean. I tried all the oil with my professional color pencils, and I have to say that these sharpener ruined them. Especially I wasn't able to reach a very sharp tip on my color pencils, and actually some of my color pencils tip were even ruined and breaks very easily after that I sharpened them with this sharpener. So I really don't recommend it. I would prefer quite a lot normal metal sharpener that are a lot cheaper than this one, but they sharpen my pencils a lot better, and in particular in this moment I'm in love with the Faber Castell metal sharpener that I found in my Faber Castell compendium. My third flop is this Caran Gouache in the color 001 white that I found inside my Gouache studio set that I reviewed recently, and I will leave you here in case you are interested the video that I did. It's a normal white gouache, but the problem with this is that it's quite transparent, and if I use the white gouache I want it to be completely opaque, in particular because the gouache set is already quite transparent and you can mix all the color with this white, but when I use it with the colors I cannot obtain opaque color. And if I use it alone, also I have difficulties to make white details. Here on the color swatches you can see that you can see the black square show through because it's not completely opaque. And also when I try in my painting to do white details, it seems to be very white, but when they dry out actually it is quite transparent and I have to layer it down a lot to obtain a completely white layer. almost for the same price, I have white gouache in my collection that are a lot better. Another flop for me is this SMLT Art Watercolor Pad. It is a 280 GSM watercolor pad with 35 sheets inside in the format A5. I bought this water pad because it was my ideal size and also it was quite cheap compared to other watercolor papers. Inside, this pad has kind of a rough paper but is not very textured either. It's quite strange and quite different from any other paper that I tried before. The problem with this is that it doesn't take a lot of water very well and you cannot layer down watercolors, and for my style and the way I paint with watercolors, actually I tend to layer down a lot my colors, and this is not the ideal paper. Although I can use this paper for gouache, because with gouache actually I like it better. And another problem with this paper is that every time that I take off the tapes from the border, actually I damage my painting. And this is another downside, and I try everything to make the tape less sticky, but actually is a paper problem that doesn't happen with other paper. I have nothing against this brand, but actually the other flop is again the SMLT Bristol Sketch Pad in this case. This pad was also very cheap and I bought it to use it with my color pencil. It is 185 GSM with 50 sheets inside and the format is again A5. The paper is very smooth and I really like that in this pad. This is why I thought that was ideal for color pencil, but actually when I started using it I saw that also in this case I can't layer down the color pencils, because after 2 layers, actually at the third the pigments start to move around, and it's something that I really don't want because that creates patches with white and the page show through. So I decided to start using it with markers and my watercolor pencils, and in this case I really like the result, but be aware that the markers pass through because the page thickness is not very high. Another big flop for me, and this is just personal taste, are plastic palettes. In fact, the plastic palettes are hard to clean even right after that you finish use them, and the color completely stain them, even if you clean them straight after that you use them. Also, they are very slippery on the table where I use them, so I really prefer the porcelain one, because the porcelain one are very easy to clean, they are heavy, they have a great grip on the table, don't go around while I'm mixing the color, and they stay completely white, so when I mix my color I can have an idea about the final color on the white page. I know that this option is a lot cheaper than the porcelain one, but actually I have to say that if you want to get a cheap porcelain palette, you don't have to go on the art supply shops, but just go in a second-hand shop and get a square or a rectangular plate, and you can have the same thing but for a much cheaper price. Actually, I got my palettes for just €1.50. Last but not the least, this is a flop, but not entirely a flop. You can find the full review in details of this product on my channel, and I will leave it also here in case you are interested. And these are the marker, the Crelando marker that I found at LIDL, and I paid just a little bit less than €10 for all these colors. So based on the cheap price, I have to say that these markers are very nice if you want to try out the medium for the first time, for example, to know if you like to use marker. And they are very cheap, a lot cheaper than very expensive professional one like Winsor & Newton Pro Marker or Copic. But I decided to put them in the flop because when I opened the packaging, after use one color just once in a little area, it dries out completely. And the day after it was completely without ink, and this was very disappointing. Also, they are a little bit tricky to blend together, and the blend marker actually is completely useless because it doesn't help you to blend them together or blend a single color. So I recommend them to people that want to try the medium and don't splurge for the material, but at the same time I found these two big downside, especially the quantity of the product inside the marker is very low and they tend to dry out very fast. And that's it, guys. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comment below if you have any flop to add to the list, or if you love some of this product instead, or alternative use of this product. If you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to don't miss any other content. See you in next video. Moi moi!